Heidi ho, next level taken here with my 2 cents to add to the mix about the PlayStation Classic. Now people are upset. People are canceling pre-orders. Well, some people are. And that's because the full list of 20 games has been announced. It's been released. And the PlayStation Classic that's coming in December is going to feature some classics like Final Fantasy VII and the original Resident Evil Director's Cut. But it's missing quite a bit. Quite a bit of fan favorites are not there. Any of the other Final Fantasy games are not there. There's no Dragon Quest games. There's no Gran Turismo. I mean, Sony owns that. The only thing I can see that's stopping that would be maybe the soundtrack, all the rights to the music, which is why a bunch of the Forza Horizon games have been delisted from the Xbox store. But aside from that, I'm going to get to some of the games that I feel are missing that could and should be on the PlayStation Classic that are not on this console, and why these games probably weren't included. Right off the bat, you've got to figure Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3. Now, they probably weren't included because Activision now has the rights to them. That's the first thing. Second, Activision's trying to sell their remastered trilogy, the Insane Trilogy, so why would they go ahead and have you play the original Crash 1, 2, and 3? It's the same reason why you can't really play Crash on the Vita right now, even though there was a loophole at some point where you could do that. Alright, with that said, Tomb Raider is another one that's missing, but again, a lot of these are third parties, so keep that in mind. They're not Sony properties. Sony did work out some deals to put Metal Gear Solid on here, for example, but a lot of these games are third parties, so that they'd have to get some kind of agreement in place to put these games on there. Tomb Raider's missing, which I thought should have been included, if for nothing else, that you've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I thought it would be good advertising for the newer games in the series to include some of the original titles, or maybe people go back and say, okay, I want to pick up more of these. You know, let's get a remastered collection of Tomb Raider games. Maybe Square's working on something like that. Maybe Activision's working on an Activision collection, you know, featuring 20, 30, or 40 of their games. I mean, they've got a huge library to pick from. Imagine some of these games are missing due to the fact that the rights and the copyrights are kind of conflicted because some of these companies have gone out of business or were taken over by other companies. Legacy of Kain is one that's missing from this collection. Dino Crisis, which is a Capcom property, would have been cool to have either Dino Crisis game on here. I'm not going to include Dino Crisis 3. I wasn't on PS1 anyway. Final Fantasy Tactics. You know, honestly, there's a lot of RPGs that are missing, and we'll get into some more of those later, but Final Fantasy Tactics is one. Although I don't think Tactics is probably a mainstream title anyway. Xenogears. Oh, Xenogears. And Xenogears was on the... I mean, you can play Xenogears on the Vita through the PS1 Classics, so I don't understand why Xenogears is not here, but Bushido Blade. A little more obscure for some, but Bushido Blade could have been on here, and it's not. Ehrgeiz, or Ehrgeiz, however you want to pronounce it. That's the correct pronunciation as far as I know. It's the spin-off of Final Fantasy. It's a fighting game. I loved it. It had some RPG, minigame tendencies, qualities to it. It had a lot of stuff going on in that game. I like that game. Some people don't, but a fantastic game from back in the day. That's not here, but again, that's probably not the most mainstream pick in the world. Gran Turismo and Gran Turismo 2 are, though, and I can imagine the only reason, I mean, it's the #1 seller on the PS1. I can imagine the only reason that they're missing is the soundtrack. It's got to be, right? I'm assuming. Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. You figure maybe Resident Evil 2 is not here because they're coming out with a remake, but I think that would be still a great thing and create hype for the Resident Evil 2 remake. It's not going to take anything away from it, but either way, we still got one Resident Evil game. We can't get everything probably in a series. Maybe they're thinking about the next PlayStation Classic to come down the pipe. Who knows? Alright, Spyro, again, Activision, and again, there's a trilogy coming out soon, so you can see why that's not here. Street Fighter Alpha, any of the Alpha games would have been a great choice. instead of what we're getting, which is the puzzle fighter. I don't get, but you know, it is what it is. All right, Mr. Domino, which is a very, very obscure pick. I mean, if you know Mr. Domino, if you play Mr. Domino, you know, leave me a comment for the love of, please leave me a comment. But I know why that's not there. It's just one of my personal choices that I'd like to see on there. Tron Bonne would have been a great pick. Mega Man Legends, Mega Man 8, you know, missing. I don't know why. Perfect fits, I thought. Castlevania, again, Castlevania's got a game coming out now, so maybe that's why it's not there. But you can still play Symphony of the Night, either the remade edition on PS4 now that's coming out, or you can play Symphony of the Night on Xbox One thanks to backwards compatibility. Alright, other games that are missing, Einhander, which is a great shooter, but again, not the most mainstream pick in the world. The Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy 8 and 9. 8, I hear there's some issues with converting it, so that's why it's probably missing in action. Wipeout. Again, it's got to be down to music, because Sony owns, they purchased Psygnosis, so I don't get why Wipeout wouldn't be here. Any of the Wipeouts would have done. Wipeout, Wipeout XL, Wipeout 3, which is my favorite, my personal fave. Silent Hill. Perfect choice. What's going on, Konami? Why? You got Metal Gear on there, so why not Silent Hill? Like, Silent Hill defined the PS1 era. I don't get why it's missing. Tony Hawk, it's got to be the licensing. It's got to be the music tracks. Tony Hawk or Tony Hawk 2, no-brainers to be on here. Reinvented a whole new genre there. Jet Moto. Again, music, is this the only reason why we're missing these games? Jet Moto 2, Jet Moto 3, although not as good as the other ones still. Twisted Metal 2, you got the original Twisted Metal, but Twisted Metal 2 is pretty much everybody's favorite of the series, and it's not there. Parasite Eve, although it's not the most mainstream, but Final Fantasy VII, how many times can I buy Final Fantasy VII? Medieval, you've got a remake coming out, so I guess that's the reason why this isn't here, but that would get me hyped for the remake. And a lot of people missed Medieval. A lot of people don't even know about Medieval. They don't even know what to get hyped for. Croc, a platformer, albeit a third-party platformer, but could have been here. Clock Tower, great horror game. Scissor Man, love it. I wish it was here. I didn't think a chance in hell it was going to be there, but I would have been excited. Parappa the Rapper, Jammer Lammy. Like, he's almost a mascot at this point, and he's not there. What the heck? That was a big letdown. I don't know why Parappa's not there. Need for Speed, although that's third party, and then again, music. It all comes down to the music. Legend of Dragoon. That's your own RPG, Sony. Why is that missing from here? That's probably the biggest letdown. Legend of Legaia is another one that's missing. It's not the most well-known RPG, but it would have been nice to have it included here. And let's see what else is missing. Arc the Lad is another RPG. Namco Museum, any of them would have been fine. Volumes 1 through 5. The Lunar series would have been an awesome RPG to have on here. Like, there's not enough RPG love. Maybe for the next system. And again, Ape Escape is not here because you don't have the dual analog sticks, which Metal Gear is going to be a chore to play on just a thumb pad. But what are your thoughts? A lot of people are canceling pre-orders. What do you think about the 20 games that they announced? I'll put the games up there in the description link below if you don't already know. What games are they missing that you would have liked to seen included? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's been Next Level Taken. Thank you for watching. Till next time.